Michigan Magazine has for years extolled the virtues of looking out one's own back door for family adventures and fun. We're so happy to report to you that while doing so ourselves, we've discovered a project developed here in Rose City, Michigan that's drawing statewide attention and inspiration. Citizens here know that we are blessed with off-road trails that provide that unique family experience referred to as off-highway vehicle exploration, OHVs or ORVs, places that were inaccessible to nature enthusiasts simply because of distance are now opening up with ordinances being created that would provide access to motorized off-highway vehicles. Rose City can be considered a pioneer in creating its own in-city trails and Trails Head that would provide access to statewide trails without having to leave the city limits to park their hauling vehicles way out in the boonies. The Rose City Trailhead recently opened has been placed strategically so that one can park their cars at area motels or at the trail's head itself, unload their off-road vehicles to take a trail that connects with the wonders of designated wilderness areas. Before this, one would have to travel miles just to get to an area approved for OHVs. We talked a bit with city officials who were excitingly developing the idea that was made possible by a grant from Yamaha and by initiating and passing ordinances that would allow OHVs certain street access to in-town trails that lead directly to the trail's head.
ORV Trailhead through a grant from Yamaha, over $18,000, and this will allow access for the ORVs to access the trails and also the 21 different businesses in our town at this point. And this will allow them to go eat and have gas access, but also get to the trail system very conveniently.
Tell us a little bit about the ordinances and the law, how that the evolution of that came about.
There's a group of us business people that went for a ride up in Montmorency County, and we were up there for a weekend and realized that their campgrounds were very busy and the motels were very busy, and we were sitting in a restaurant and saw a young man take his off-road motorcycle down the side of the road into the gas station, and watching the sheriff pull up and just greeted him and just had a casual conversation, we realized that he wasn't doing anything illegal. And so we started asking around a little bit, and they were telling us about an ordinance that they had had for years. And that this ordinance allowed them to legally travel along the shoulder of the county road and to get access to the gas stations, restaurants, campgrounds, motels. And then a couple weekends later, I tried to make a reservation for my family to go back up to the same area to do some riding in ORVs. And on a Tuesday, I called, and they had one room left for the whole weekend. And so I got that room, went up there, and noticed that they were just packed, and they were packed with ORVers. And so came back, mentioned it to some local business people about what was happening up in that county. And knowing such a great about our trail system in this area and our location to different areas like Bull Gap and to St. Helen Motorsports, and that we're so close to these areas and have a vast number of trails, that when I mentioned to them, and there was a lot of enthusiasm, and so we put together a group of business people that went around to the townships and presented the idea of trying to adopt an ordinance very similar to few of these other counties in northern and lower Michigan that had them. And it was received very well through the townships, and then we went ahead and presented it to the county commissioners and presented a sample ordinance of something that we received from the other counties, very similar to what they had, to our prosecutor at the time, and it was thoroughly reviewed, and then we had some public hearings, and it just really went forward from there. And in November of 2004, the county commissioners adopted it officially as an ordinance, and it's been received very well.
As we mentioned, the construction of an actual trails head is not exactly without expense, and the Rose City Group was quick to stress that the project wouldn't have been made possible without the assistance of the Yamaha Corporation and its grant initiatives.
Well, Yamaha has established an OHV initiative program, and OHV stands for off-highway vehicles, which essentially is side-by-sides and ATVs, and enduro motorcycles. And the initiative is essentially to provide better access to nature, better access for the ORVs to our trail systems.
And in the area, St. Helen, West Branch, Rose City, and north, and throughout the entire state, we've got a lot of good trails, don't we?
Yes, we do. We have some terrific trail systems in the state. And we are extremely excited about what Yamaha has been able to do in our local area. We've received 3 grants from Yamaha totaling probably close to $50,000. A little bit obviously is being spent in Rose City for that staging area. We are getting a grant, or we have a grant already for the St. Helen Township Park and Campground, and that is to improve the trail access to the St. Helen Motorsport area.
So you knew about what they might be needing in Rose City. How did you in Rose City get together and connect and find out more about this grant that was available for this area?
Well, because we are the dealership as far as off-road vehicles in this area, we had a chance to get with the Chamber of Commerce here in Rose City and also the ORV Patrol. And with that relationship, we have been able to approach Yamaha and submit the grant application and of course get it approved.
How far throughout the state can you go from one point to the next? I mean, if you get on in Rose City, where will you be able to go? Pretty much anywhere you want to, or?
Well, from the Rose City staging area, you can actually go all the way to the lake to the east.
Okay.
And going to the west, you can go right through the St. Helen Motorsport area, continue to the west, over to Cadillac area, south of Houghton Lake. So the trail system is very expansive.
Is it pretty mapped out for the people?
It is mapped very well, in fact. Many local locations have their own local maps, but also the DNR has supplied their mapping system and different area maps as well.
Well, we have approximately 3 acres of land, and the grant money that we received from Yamaha was $18,750. A lot of money, and that is going to help us actually develop just a portion of the property. You know, it won't help us develop the whole piece all at one time, but it's going to be the major portion of it and a very good start. Information kiosk that's being built, and a locator sign close to the road. And we're going to have some landscaping that will be planted, as well as some fencing as guides to get you into the trailhead area and guide you out to the trail system, as well as to provide some buffer for some local residences.
Okay, okay. And so people can bring in the trailer, unload there, and leave the vehicle until they get back? Or?
That's correct.
Okay.
Well, that's our intent is to get Rose City, to be a happening place, and to bring in as many people from outlying communities into our community that we can to support our local businesses and patronize them.
Yeah, I think it's really, really neat that Rose City takes the initiative to kind of cater to these people who kind of at times might feel lost in knowing where to go and some place to feel welcome. And I think you've got a lot of services in the area that people can take advantage of.
Yes, we do. Speaking of being very receptive, as being a person that grew up here in the Rose City area, I had a lot of friends that rode off-road motorcycles, and we all had snowmobiles, and we grew up in that environment. So this is not new to the people of our community, the off-road experience.
Yeah, that experience is something else. Are you a vehicle owner? Or do you
yes, I am. Yes.
Yeah. What do you say to the people who haven't tried it yet? Is it something that really should take advantage of?
Oh, yes. Anyone who is a ATV enthusiast or likes to go out into the woods, it gives you access to a lot of the forests in the woods where you just normally wouldn't walk. It would be too far for you to walk. So if you get into riding the ATVs, you can just see so much more and cover so many more miles than you ever could walking.
And so, you see, there's now much, much more to see in Michigan, with more and more access being made to the formerly inaccessible. Get up, get out, and explore now. Michigan off the beaten path in an OHV. We'll see you there.